was pressing the wrong button. Hello everyone, my name is Wokianaru, and this is the 100th video special. So, I decided after I had gotten a request that I am going to play a game. This is Slender, The Arrival. So this is a decently old, horror game. And, but this is more, this video is more about, like, explaining why exactly does Wokianaru Gaming exist, where it came from. One sec. So, my whole new setup is still very iffy right now. Basically everything I'm doing is still very experimental. I got the new mic. It is a little bit sensitive, so you might be able to hear that there is some construction going on outside my house. They're like putting in new water pipe things. I don't know exactly, but and the camera is still something that I'm working on. I did record a video, which I probably won't put out because I did notice something when I was playing, like when I went over the video after I had done it, and that was that this mic is fairly sensitive. It's brand new, still fairly sensitive. I can control a lot of things on this mic. I used to not be able to control some things. Like I was always fairly able to control things such as my voice. Like that was more or less just me being able to control my voice by raising or lowering it. But there are some other things that I'm able to control. Like there is a separate gain control on this microphone. There's like a recording pattern thing on this microphone, and it's like I said, it's basically brand new. I've used this for one video, which I might not put out because when I was going over the video footage, I noticed that I hope it won't be a problem in this one. You could basically hear every breath I took because I guess I just had the gain up way too high. And I don't know if this is going to be the same problem or not. But like I said, this is the 100th video special. This is to explain why I'm here, where I came from, because I basically just popped out of the blue one day. I like showed up. My first video was Little Nightmares. Yeah, Little Nightmares Part 1. I just kind of popped up without any real explanation. I was just like, hey, I'm here. There was no real method to my madness. I was just kind of like, this was something I wanted to do, so I did it. I did it. I didn't really feel that I needed an explanation until after now I've gone 100 videos, and now I'm like, I should probably explain where I came from, because people are just going, who is he? So it's going to be a little bit different, because I might not, like, every note and stuff that I pick up I might not read or something, because I am trying to focus this one more on a sort of vlog aspect, so a video log that's explaining things to you guys. If there is something that I don't cover in this video, if there's something that I say that isn't really exactly clear, that doesn't explain something to you guys, then go ahead and let me know in the comments below, and I'll figure out what I did or did not say. One sec, I'm trying to figure out. There we go. Okay. That's a little loud. That might be a little bit loud. Yeah, you guys can hear the construction work then. Oh, okay. So I guess I'll try and play the game. I'll try and read some of the notes. I'll try and do these things. But again, when you're watching this, just remember it's not exactly all about the game. If you guys do like me playing this game and you want me to play more of it, just let me know and I'll play more of it. Thanks for calling last night. It probably sounds dumb, but it was good to hear your voice again. Good to hear that Lauren's been doing really well too. But yeah, about what all we said, I'm not sure what to think of it yet. What are the odds of two people having the exact same hallucination? Could it really just be a coincidence? I have to go to my doctor today for some routine stuff, so I'm going to try and casually bring this up and see what he says about it. I'll let you know how it goes. CR. And I'm assuming that was a second note of a series, because it had that big ol' number 2 next to it. So my guess is there's probably one outside of the house somewhere. But okay, so I need to get a flashlight. Honoring the life of Beth Hayes. Added to your scrapbook. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, it might have slipped in one of my videos. It might not have slipped. I'm pretty sure it did. But I'm recording a video. I'm gonna be famous on the YouTubes. Okay. But so I've always introduced myself as Wokianaru. That's not my actual name. For those of you who actually know me, my name is Liam. And I am 20 years old. I'm currently a college student. This was something that I started, freshman year of college, I suppose. Technically right when freshman year of college ended. But it was always something that doing YouTube was something I always wanted to do, because I've seen I watched a whole lot of YouTube and stuff, like gameplays and stuff, and I've always loved the gameplays that I've watched, and I was like, that's cool, that's something I want to do. I want to be able to play video games and react to them, because I've always loved video games. They've been a huge part of my life, and oh, that's lovely. Slendy drew some art for us. But gaming has always been a big part of my life. I haven't always had a computer to game on, which is my preferred method of gaming, but my preferred console, you could say. But it is really dark and I don't have a flashlight. But gaming's just been a huge part of my life. I've always I loved playing video games with my little brothers. I didn't do a whole lot of gaming with my sister, but recording with my little brothers. I might start streaming here with one of my little brothers, Sean, and if he wants to, then we'll go and we'll start doing that. We'll start streaming together, play different games together, because there's a whole lot of different games that we've played together that we've been like, hey, this would be a good game to stream together. And Sean does stream it sometimes. You can find him, I believe he switched his Twitch to twitch.tv/Carmanicus. That was fun. I should probably find Kate. Okay, I didn't even realize that I went down a slide for a minute. So I'm a little bit lost. I think I went through everything that I could see in that house. That's broken glass, isn't it? That's broken glass. Yeah, everything I could see in that house, I'm pretty sure I touched or went through. Because I don't have a flashlight. I don't have and I don't have a night vision that I can tell. I was zooming in earlier with my jigger here. Oh, okay. I have to stop to do that. I don't think I ever remember playing I guess Slender the Arrival is not the first game. I believe the first game for the Slender series was Slender the 8 Pages. I've played that one before. It was more of a Flash game that was a new concept, I guess, for horror games. It was hey, well, it wasn't really a new concept, but it did bring what is a true folktale, not true folktale, but a folktale into light, because for those of you who don't know, Slender Man was actually a German folktale legend thing.
0 new messages, 1 old message.
Hey Kate, CR again. I hope everything's okay.
Am I CR?
I know there's been a lot to take in and wrap your head around. It'll be good when Lauren gets there to help you sell the house. Take a little load off your mind.
Am I CR?
Give me a call when you get the chance and we can talk. Take care.
Press 1 to delete.
So I gotta
To
find
return to the main
Kate.
menu.
But it was a German folktale. Slenderman started off with the name Der Ritter, and I believe that is German. It's probably German for like Slenderman or like Thin Man or something like that. I don't know German, or at least too much of it. But it was always a. I've played it before. I played Slender the 8 Pages just as like a fun game. It wasn't something that I recorded. If you guys want me to try and find that to play it, go ahead and like leave a comment below that says you guys want me to do that, and I'll try and see if I can find it, and I'll play that too. But back onto the subject of why I'm here. So I started off, and basically if you look up or try and look up the word Wokianaru, it won't pop up in any dictionary. I know there's a whole lot of YouTubers out there whose names either reflect their channel names reflect either their personal name or they reflect like some aspect of their life, like it has their name in it somewhere. But I never actually fully came out. I guess PewDiePie doesn't exactly, but all of theirs like sort of have some real words or something in them. But Wokianaru is a completely made-up word. And I don't think this is really a story that's ever gotten past my little brothers. I have 2 little brothers and an older sister. But I don't think it's ever gotten past my little brothers. It might not have even gotten to them. But the word Wokianaru comes from, it was the name of my imaginary friend growing up. And to me, it wasn't an imaginary friend. It was more of like what people would call something like a guardian angel or something of the sorts. But I didn't come up with the name. Some of you might not believe in things such as ghost stories or things like that. But I believe. No, I don't think that's in that book. But the name Wokianaru came from that. And if any of you guys, I think I'm trying to remember how the plot went. But if any of you guys saw the cartoon Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, I think that's how the cartoon went. Was basically like there was a kid who was in need of like a friend, and like the imaginary friend. That's how they like came to be. That's kind of how like Wokianaru came to me, and Wokianaru has been like my name for things for years since then, because like he would come to me and he would like give me words of wisdom. He'd play with me when I didn't have anyone to play with and things like that. But that's how the name came to be. That's like how like I decided this is the name that I'm going to use. Because it didn't even like take me a freaking heartbeat when I was like making a YouTube channel to go, yeah, this is what this is what I'm gonna have my username be. For some of you guys who are watching that like either play video games with me online or are like streamers that I watch, I should keep an eye out. That's lovely. Is that a reminder that I'm gonna die? But I was wondering where I was supposed to go. I couldn't figure it out. But so I don't know the exact objective in this game other than to find Kate. I'm assuming Kate's dead. That's just my first assumption. She did something that pissed off Mr. Slenderman, and she got impaled on top of a tree. Because that's what the Slenderman used to do to people. You don't have a flashlight. I want a flashlight. I'm assuming that I'm gonna get a flashlight at some point then, because if I can press F and it's gonna bring up a little command that says you don't have a flashlight. But So, but any of you guys who like either that or you'll see me lurking in your stream chats or whatever, a lot of people who do those things, they cut it down to Wookie. They cut the name down to Wookie. They shorten it to Wookie because it's just easier to pronounce and easier to say. Because I'll basically pop in and I'll like say hi, and people will be like, I don't know how to say that. Don't feel bad. It's not a real word. If it's not a word that you can't pronounce, that's perfectly fine. But it's always a name that's had a whole lot of like meaning to me. It's had a strong meaning to me. But there's other parts of my backstory that I don't know if I'm ever going to really release. Like if I'm gonna tell you guys, well, I can tell you things such as like I was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, because my dad was there at he was there as an in the Air Force. So that's what caused my older sister to be born up in Alaska. So anytime that people learn that fact about my sister and I, they kind of laugh because it's like that's just like complete opposites. And the funny thing is, when you see my sister and I, we're not exactly opposites. I would say we do look fairly similar, but I look more like my dad. She looks more like our mom, who got divorced when I was still at a fairly young age. And we moved, my dad, like, when he finally got, I always forget the word for that, discharged. He got discharged from the Air Force, and living in Hawaii is really expensive. So, and we couldn't afford it. So we had either the choice to move to York, Pennsylvania, where a bunch of my family's from, or to Ohio, where my mom's side of the family's from. So, yeah, I'm guessing my mom won that argument because here I sit in Ohio. But that's just a funny thing because there's a whole bunch of different YouTubers that are from, like, that were born in Hawaii and then, like, came to Ohio. And I feel like I'm just, like, copying the exact same thing, but it's not exactly like I had the choice. But, I do kind of mind living in Ohio because I don't like the cold. I've never liked cold weather. It's just always been something that's just, meh. But, I'm, from Hawaii, live in Ohio. I do have a few hobbies outside of gaming. Not many, though, because, like, I'm very introverted. You can ask, like, any one of my friends or, like, my dad or anyone, and they'll be like, he hardly leaves his room. Right now, I do have a few other hobbies, though. Scouting is one of them. Scouting is more of a lifestyle than it is, like, a hobby. And it's been something that I did since I was 6 years old. I've asked my dad before, because he's really big into scouting, too. I got him into scouting. I've asked him, how did I get into scouting? Because there have been some things in scouting that I've done that just, to me, they feel like not every other scout has done these things. Like, if you have watched my videos since the beginning, or have been around the channel since basically the beginning, there was a short time lapse in, like, there was a short lapse in videos, or absence in videos since in the summer. That's because I worked as a camp counselor for a Boy Scout camp, and I was the rifle instructor up there, and I've done that for, this would have been my 5th summer up there as a camp counselor, but what is it? I don't know. I've been there for years, but and it's like my favorite place in the world. But scouting's been a huge part of my life. I asked my dad how I got into scouting, and he told me basically it was like any other kid that, like, joined scouting. I came home one day with the Cub Scout flyer in my hand saying, hey, I want to do this, and we did. We went and we did it. He brought me to a pack meeting because Cub Scouts they start off in packs, and then it moves into troops when you get up into like the actual Boy Scouts, or it's now called Scouts PSA. I did that for years. I still do scouting. I earned my Eagle Scout back in 16, and I know it's only been 3 years, but still. Anytime I look at that date on like the Eagle Scout card I have, it's like that makes me feel old. I'm only 20. I'm a college student, but that's always been something I've enjoyed because every little aspect of learning and stuff from it has very much been a hands-on sort of thing where I can go out and I can go camping and I can do all these different things and I enjoy. That's been a huge aspect of my life, and I know I have a couple of fans and guys that watch my videos, and one of them, he provided music for me for it'll be in this video, probably at the end of it, it'll be there in the end, and I'll probably sit down and discuss a few more serious notes of things that I want to discuss before anything, or before I end the video, and the music will be there, just so you know. But I know there's a couple of you guys that I've known you from scouting, but there's been other things in my life that have basically shaped me to be the person that I am. Like everyone, I went to school. I went to elementary school. Didn't have the best time in elementary school. I got bullied a lot. I didn't get bullied as much as some kids, though. I don't think it really did any sort of long-term damage or anything. What is that? Oh, it's a door handle. But, because, if anything, I was more on the defending side of... Oh, no. My camera likes to do this. It shuts off after a certain amount of time. Let's see if I can bring it back here. So that's something that I'm still learning how to deal with. I don't know exactly how to deal with that yet. I don't know how to keep it on for longer than it normally pops up. So let me bring it back here real quick. I'm not particularly one for loud noises, but I'm not. That's why I get jump scared fairly easily. Don't do it in real life, though. Don't try and jump scare me in real life, because I will tell you some bad things have happened in the past. People have tried to jump scare me and they've gotten hit pretty hard. But so that's the start of my story. That's a little snippet of things I enjoy. I started school, went to school, went to elementary school for a little while, or for 6 years rather. I wasn't in public school that whole time though. I was, if I can remember, it was a year or two that I wasn't in public school. I was homeschooled. And if you ever have the chance to homeschool your children, don't. Don't homeschool your children. I will tell you right now, they will most likely hate you forever. I'm just joking. They won't hate you forever. I know my time in homeschool, I absolutely loathed. When I came up to... I graduated from... Or, not even graduated. That's not graduation. I completed 6th grade, and I... basically, once I completed 6th grade, I got out of, elementary school, and then for middle school and freshman year of high school, I was homeschooled. But that really took a toll on me. Doing middle school and high school, I didn't really have any friends. At the time... Shh! Quiet! But at the time, I didn't really have many friends, so I was the only thing that really kept me happy during that time was Boy Scouts. And like I said, that got me through that's gotten me through a lot of rough patches, and I believe it's shaped me into the person that I am today. Boy Scouts has definitely helped me a lot in my life, but those years were pretty sad for me. I was very lonely, and I just kind of closed myself off and didn't really go out and do anything, which has been like recently. But when it came to my sophomore year of high school, before the year even began, my parents came to me. It was my dad and my stepmom, who I had for years. Basically, when my parents got divorced, I don't exactly know what year they got married, but my dad and my stepmom, very quickly they got married, and I've had her in my life for years. They're not married anymore. They did sadly get divorced, but they were married for a long while, and to me, as just a very ignorant kid, to me it looked like they were happy. They did, like I said, they did get divorced, though. I have no idea where I'm going in this game right now. Like, I've been through that house, but I can't find anywhere to go in that house. But they came to me after a while, after the summer, and they asked me, they gave me a few options. They said, it's going to be your 10th grade year, and we're going to give you a couple options. So in my area, we do have a few options when it comes to schooling, and we were like, they said, you can stay in homeschool, which I was basically right out of the bat. I was like, no, I'm not staying I'm not staying in homeschool because it sucked. I don't think my sister liked it. I don't think my little brother liked it. Both my little brothers have been in homeschool, though both my little brothers, they're half brothers, but so I don't see them all. I don't see all my siblings all the time because my sister's grown up. She's 21. She lives out with her friends. She still lives in the same city as me, but I don't see all my siblings all the time. I wish I did see them more, but I still talk to all of them pretty regularly. But they came to. I get off track so easily. If you just talk to me for 5 minutes, I will go through 20 subjects in that matter of time. But oh, I thought that was Slenderman. It's such a tree. It was just a funny shaped tree. And I thought I was just walking straight towards him. But they gave me the option. It was like, you can go back, you can stay in homeschool, you can go to public school, like the public high school that I live, or there is a vocational school. Some of you guys might not know what a vocational school is. A vocational school, it's a career technical high school. So it's very much, you choose a career field that you want to go into, and you go there. You do take regular classes. You do take math, science, history, all those fun things. But you also take a class, we called it our lab. That was our lab time. And you went in and for most of the day, you went in and you learned about this certain career field. And I don't think it even took me that long to say, I want to go there. I went there, and for sophomore year was fun, because I did actually very quickly made a bunch of new friends. Hey, look, a flashlight. But sophomore year was a lot of fun. I made a whole bunch of new friends. Oh crap! I think picking up the flashlight enabled Slenderman. But I made a bunch of new friends. It was also the year that I broke my knee. So some people might find the details of this a little bit gross. It's not even that gross to me. But kind of to tell this story, I have to tell another story. I was also involved in something that is known as the SCA. It's the Society for Creative Anachronism. And the SCA is a medieval recreation society. They research and recreate what was known from the world in pre-17th century Europe. So they... Oh, that's a scream. Lovely. So she's out there. Okay. But, they go and see... They research, it's like, here's different clothing they wore, here's different food they ate, here's different, like, stories they told, and art styles, and all these things. But my real interest that got me into that was, the fighting. So, one of the big things that they do in the SCA is they research and recreate, like, fighting styles and things that were known, like, in the world at that time. And how I got into the SCA was through scouting. It was, they came to one of my pack meetings when I was younger, when I was a fairly young kid. They came to one of them, and they did a demonstration where they showed the sort of, like, things they do, and that was, did I get that note that was up there on that table? Yeah, that I did. But, they showed us the, excuse me, the fighting. I've been talking for a little while and haven't, like, taken anything to drink. But the fighting they do was with they made swords and, like, pole arms and spears and stuff out of this material called rattan. So if anyone knows what rattan is a bamboo-like material. It's a very, like, hard bamboo material. People use it in, I want to say it's Taekwondo. It might not be Taekwondo, but they use it in other things, like other martial arts and stuff like that. But they use that, and let me tell you, it hurts like hell when you get hit by rattan. Did I feel electrocuted? Oh, I don't know. But, it hurts really bad when you get hit by rattan without any, like, armor or anything like that on. Ask my dad. I hit him in the junk a couple of times without a cup on, and that was no fun for him. It wasn't on purpose. I'm sorry, Dad. But I saw this thing and was like, that's really cool. I want to try that. And you have to wear, like, armor and stuff when you're doing that, so that keeps you safe. And sometimes, depending on the person, they wear heavier or lighter armor. And I went and I did that for a couple years, and I was still doing scouting at that point. I was still enjoying what I did with scouting, and my family got really big into the SCA too. We all really loved it. We've kind of, like, fallen out of it recently. I don't exactly know why. But, I guess we just kind of got busy with other things. But, we did that for a while, and I was at a convention. It was, I was not a college student at the point, but it was a convention happening at the university that I go to, and since I live in the town that I, look at that, I had a manicure, okay, but, a convention happening at the university, and a couple of members of my family like to go there, and outside there was a LARPing group, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's live action role playing. And LARPing is much different than the SCA. So live action role playing has, like, fairies and elves. No, holy crap, that was Slenderman. He was up over that hill if you didn't see him. But, has all that fun, like, mystical crap in it. But, there was this group there, and okay, let's not deal with you. But it had all those, like, fairies and elves and crap, and I saw those guys, and they were out there, they were fighting, and they fight with, like, foam swords and stuff. And when I was before I became an adult fighter in the SCA, who are the people who get to use rattan or rather, they get to use like the full form of rattan. I was a youth fighter who used basically the same thing. There he is again. Come and get me, you tall bastard. But I decided to go out there because I'm like, I've been fighting in the SCA for a while now, and in my mind, I got pretty good. I got pretty good at fighting. And I was like, I can go take on any one of those guys I want to. And I don't know why, but I was out there, I was fighting, I was having a good time. You don't really have to wear armor for them because you're wearing, or because you're fighting. You're fighting with such I knew I shouldn't have touched that, but you're fighting with such soft weapons, you don't really need armor. And they had like hit points type system where in the SCA it was basically like if you get hit in the proper place you're dead, or you've lost a leg, or you've lost an arm. But they had this weird hit point style, like every weapon does different amounts of damage and crap. I wasn't really following that. But they don't need to know that. But for some reason, this is something that I've regretted for the rest of my life. I jumped, which is something you don't really do in the SCA because you're wearing armor and there's no real reason to. But there was this really tiny guy. He was a thin guy, and he was hiding behind a rather large shield, and he was kind of crouched down. And I decided to jump and wrap my sword around, or axe or whatever I was holding, and hit him. But when I came back down, my right leg landed in like a little like divot or hole in the ground. It was kind of like, wasn't too big of a hole, but it landed right enough that I dislocated my knee, and it chipped off the bottom of the top of my knee, and I can't remember exactly the part that's called, but I chipped off that part, and then my knee popped back into place. And I very quickly realized that there is something wrong. But for some reason, my dumb self, I didn't very instantaneously, I was at the event with like my sister and my stepmom, and I didn't very quickly like go over to my bag where it was laying up against a tree, so I didn't it wouldn't be like on me and getting in the way. But I didn't go over and like call them right away and tell them, hey, I did something, I hurt myself, and I know something's wrong. Look at him, he's over there just like but I knew there was something wrong. So for some reason, I just kind of laid down where I was on the field. I don't fully remember if anyone ever came over and asked me if I was okay, but I just kind of laid there on the field that I was in and just took a nap. I laid there and took a nap for like a half an hour. And after that, I got up and I hobbled over to my bag and plopped down, pulled out my phone, and I texted my sister to bring my stepmom over, and so they both came over. And so my stepmom she came over and tells me, so if you think there's something wrong, we can either call you an ambulance or you can get up and walk to the car. And me being the hard ass I am that didn't want to cause my family to spend any more money, because we haven't been like, we're not financially well off. We're doing okay. We're fine. We're not like poor and not able to eat or anything like that. And I'm really sorry for those of you who are, or those people who do financially struggle. I've always been rather sorry for those kinds of people, but we haven't been like that. Or we weren't like that. But she tells me she can either call me an ambulance or and they can come and pick me up out of the middle of the field and bring me to the ambulance, or I can get up and walk to the car. And so that's just what I did. I got up and walked to the car. They brought me to the hospital. I don't remember what my dad was doing, but he ended up in the hospital there with me and my stepmom. And, like, had it examined. They asked me what my pain was, and it was like, it was only like a 2 or 3. So I'm just thinking, it's not much. I'm okay. Oh, wait, crap. This might have just sicked the Slender Man on me. Crap. But I was like, I'll be fine. I'm okay. And they called me the next morning after, or they called my, I think they called my stepmom the next morning after having taken x-rays, because the ER doctor was just kind of like, he probably just like dislocated it or sprained it or something like that. But they called me the next morning and were like, no, he broke it. And then for like half the year, I was in a wheelchair. Anytime I went to school, I was in a wheelchair. I had to get surgery on it. They basically took and screwed the piece back into place. They used dissolvable screws, which I thought was kind of cool. That was something I had never heard of before. I didn't know those existed. So there's no like metal or anything in my leg, but it does hurt from time to time, and I think no one I feel like most people never properly heal from like breaking things, but or at least you don't when you're like older. But and I'm like I said, I'm not old, I'm 20. But I love how I said that I would have to leave soon, and here I am like 25 minutes later and I haven't moved. But yeah, I broke my leg. I was in a wheelchair. Anytime I would go to school, I was in a wheelchair. And for some reason, it was like a school rule that I couldn't wheel myself around. Oh, God. Am I coming up to the side, buddy? It was like a rule that I couldn't wheel myself around. I couldn't use like the little, hey, buddy. Is he walking? I didn't think Slenderman walked. But, I couldn't wheel myself around, so of course there was people that would wheel me around. And I know some people, they did it some people would volunteer in classes because, like, different classes, people would volunteer to wheel me around because they would be able to get out of class early. And that's literally how that would work, is because I was in a wheelchair, so I'd be allowed to leave early so that I could get to my next class on time, and I wouldn't have to deal with all the commotion in the hallways and stuff like that. I'm trying to stay because it's supposed to be if you don't look at him. I think that mechanic stayed in this game. I don't remember, or I don't know, because I've never played this game before. But if you don't look at him, then he'll like go away. But I made a lot of friends that way. And sophomore year, the school I went into, you don't immediately go into a lab. You're in what was called the Career Exploratory Program. So, being that there's 2 semesters, you would choose a section of, you choose a section because every career is put into what they call, I think it's called a cluster. And you chose 2 clusters, 1 per semester. And I started off in like the human services, and that included like culinary, whatever floral design. And I chose that one because for the longest time, I've always been really into cooking. And you could ask my dad, he'd tell me that's a lie as of like recently. But I've actually always been really into cooking. I've loved cooking. And that's what I wanted to do as a career for the longest time. My stepmom was really the one who got me into cooking, and I wanted to do that because that was something I loved to do. Here, Sandy man. And then I decided, because something else I've always been really into is movies. I've loved movies. I've loved TV shows for all my life. I always loved like seeing new movies and stuff like that, or seeing a whole bunch of like old ones. My stepmom and I would sit down and we'd have a like movie marathon of like 70s movies and stuff like that. And so at first I was supposed to go, I went from the human services and I was supposed to go into, I don't remember what the name of it was, but it had a bunch of different, it had like auto mechanics and I can't remember whether or not the construction stuff was in a separate cluster, but it was like auto stuff, welding stuff, because welding is another thing I enjoy. I enjoy a lot of things. I'm very much not a like one hobby person because I just enjoy so many things, and I get very easily distracted, as some of you guys have noticed, or those of you who know me will tell you, yeah, I get distracted pretty easily. But I was supposed to go into that cluster. I was supposed to go into the auto mechanic cluster, and I decided that the school that I went to also had another cluster that basically included like IT, trying to remember other ones, like what's the marketing, something like that. It also included digital video production, and since I've always loved like different videos and stuff, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna change my cluster. And so I did. I changed my cluster over to that one, and I don't remember the name of that cluster, but after that it was junior year, before I knew it, and I got to choose what career area I would go into. And so I decided it was between culinary or digital video production, and that summer I kind of decided, you know what, cooking's more of a hobby. It's more of a hobby of mine, and like something that I just kind of love to like enjoy to do. But it's not something I really want to make a career out of, because trust me, I've worked in multiple kitchens now. They're not exactly like kitchens because I've worked at McDonald's and I've worked at a pizza place, but I decided it was more of a hobby. It's not something I want to make a career out of. But movies was where it was at, and so I decided I went into digital video production, and I was a part of the smallest class that my digital video production teacher has ever had. It started off as 11 of us, or actually it started off as like, I think it was supposed to be like 20 something kids, like, but within the first week, a bunch of kids left, and why does he keep changing sides? Come and get me, Slendy! But a bunch of kids left, and then I don't think my high school career would have been the same if I was in one of the bigger classes, because I don't know if I would have gotten to do all the different things I did. Lovely. I died, I think. I met like some of my best friends in the world there. I'm going to be starting a podcast with one of them, and we're gonna do that. I loved making videos. We made videos. We did a bunch of different things in that class, and I learned a lot in that class, and it very much enabled me to learn more. I wouldn't have been doing what I'm doing right now. I don't think, at least. I don't think I would have been, like, making videos right now if I hadn't gone into that. Because I wouldn't have known where to start. I honestly wouldn't have. Because I went in, I, like, learned a whole lot from both junior and senior year, where in senior year, one of the guys that was in our class he was actually already a senior when we were all juniors, so he had already graduated. And it knocked us down to the smallest class, which was 10 kids. And every different graduating class will tell you that they're the best class of, like, that teacher had. but I know we're the best that he's ever had. But it was honestly a life-changing experience. And me personally, I've never liked school. I don't like school. I don't like sitting there and learning and then being handed a paper and a pencil and told, here, do this test. Because I just don't learn like that. I don't learn by sitting down, scratching notes and like things like that. I'm a horrible note taker, let me tell you, because I have the attention span of a freaking chipmunk. I don't think I was ever tested for ADHD as a kid. I might have been. I definitely need to be, but since I've like just don't learn. I don't learn by like doing these things. I have to be very much hands-on. I have to do things to actually learn what I'm doing, or I won't learn. If you can't hold my attention span, then I'm just not gonna learn. But since that school is very much hands-on, I did learn a lot. I mean, I'm still a really bad test taker, and people will say that it's because you're like, no one's a bad test taker, it's just because you're a poor student or you like just aren't trying or whatever. I kind of call that BS, and I think there are people who are bad at who can be bad at test taking, like me. I was really bad at test taking. I still am. I graduated from high school, and it was very much one of those. So my dad works at the college I go to. And that's basically the only reason why, well, partially why I'm going to this particular college, and also the reason why I'm going to college at all. I mean, I did earn a couple of scholarships and stuff from, like, scouting and things, but, like, the only real reason that I'm going to college is because my dad works there, so I get a tuition waiver. And I'm currently a theater major. I'm a theater major with a specialization in acting and directing. Because though I did learn a whole lot in my high school about like producing video. Oh, hello, friend. That's a person. Hi? You mind not? Is that Jeff the Killer? That is Jeff the Killer. Buddy, you dick. That was Jeff the Killer. It was a creepypasta. For those of you guys who like read creepypastas and stuff a lot, or like sat down and listened to them, that was Jeff the Killer. I'm at least pretty certain that was supposed to be Jeff the Killer. But I learned a lot in that about producing videos and like broadcast production and stuff like that. But I really want to be an actor. And though you don't... What was that? Pardon me? Though you don't really need a degree to be an actor at all, you just kind of gotta... I mean, it's I do see it that it is probably better that I do earn a degree, because it's a thing of me like learning skills and stuff and being able to use them later on. It's just not exactly fully necessary, but I do understand my dad wants me to get a degree. I personally think the world is very much turning into a place where you need a degree to get a job. If you don't have a degree, you're most likely not going to get a job either way. But it's not like I'm going to be getting a degree in theater. Fuck off! Maybe it isn't Jeff the Killer. I don't know. But, oh my. But, oh god, hi Slendy. That was Mr. Slender Man. I personally think the world has become a place where if you don't have a degree, you're most likely not going to get a job, or they won't hire you if you don't have a degree, or some places will if you've like gone to a what is it, a vocational school, basically, like not vocational school, because that's, I mean, that's where I went to high school, but what are they called? I don't remember. I'm forgetting words now. remember what it's called. It's basically you go there, you've already picked a field to work in, and then you go there. You basically, some places are like, here's a internship for so many years, like a paid internship, and then after your years are up, we'll help you get a job. If you can remember what those things are called, please tell me, because I don't remember. But some, oh my god, go away. It's not even scary. It's just, oh, it died. Okay. But I am not doing, I will tell you right now, I'm not doing the best in college. I'm not 2 semesters, I'm 4 semesters in, I'm 2 years in. I'm a sophomore in college. This is my 4th semester technically. And I have failed a great many classes. You have to earn a particular amount of credit hours to get your degree. And, you have to have at least 12 credit hours per semester to be considered a full-time student. And that's what I'm doing this semester. I'm doing 12 credit hours. But like I've failed so many classes. I have to have, for my degree, I have to have 77 hours. I have to earn 77 hours of credits, which of course isn't like anything compared to like medical fields and stuff. But I have to earn that 77 hours, and I've only earned 7 in 4 semesters, which is not good. It's not. Like I said, I'm not a good student. I don't sit down and take notes and learn like that. I just can't. But this past year, I wasn't doing so hot. I wasn't doing so well. I started developing some problems, like anxiety problems and stuff, where I was just kind of giving up. I was just like kind of rolling over and just letting things happen. I got sick constantly, like and my grades were slipping, and I basically said I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be in college anymore because I'm not learning anything. And the career that I'm trying to go for, or the career that I'm going to be, the career field I'm earning my degree in, which is technically, it's a bachelor's in arts and sciences, because I'm not going for like a master's or anything. I plan on going to college and getting the hell out as soon as possible. I think he chases you until you're dead. But I plan on getting my degree and getting out. He's right on my butt. It's probably just better to accept him. But what does he even do? What is he doing to me? Is he just making me more susceptible to like Slenderman attacks? I'm guessing that's what he's doing. I developed all these problems, and I didn't want to do college. Some of you might have noticed, like, my attitude in videos, but I mean, honestly, videos, though, making YouTube videos is what kept me happy. So, ooh, my. A lot of people do know, I love making videos because I want to entertain people. I love entertaining people. I've always been very much one of the people who's, like, tells jokes and always enjoyed making people happy, making people laugh, and making people smile. It's just something I've always, come on, dude. That's just something I've enjoyed doing. And, so I started making YouTube videos to hope to do that. And I know right now I don't have a large audience, and I don't care. But I mean, right now it's getting me experience and doing what I love doing. I love making people happy. Some people, it might not exactly make them happy, or it might not make them, like, laugh, or whatever, but I realized recently that this is not only really for others. This isn't just for other people. This is also for me. A lot of this is definitely for me. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. But, a lot of this is for me. A lot of this is for my sake. Because it's helping me. It's making me happy. It's making me realize what I love to do. And here, I'm seeing if I can get this back up, just so that so you guys can see me, because this is more of a, so I think I am coming a little bit to a close, at least for now, because I do have to get ready to leave. But can you stop that stuff? I'm trying to have a serious moment. I don't know why it's still doing this. It's set on the proper thing. But okay, one sec. Okay, see, okay, so I'm gonna bring it to a close on the game part, because I'm not getting anywhere with that. But then I was getting to a more serious note of, like, side of things. I like I said, I realized that this is not only for you guys. This is not only for people who watch my videos and who enjoy my videos. I honestly don't even really care if people don't watch my videos. If they, like, don't really watch them, and I'm just, like, I enjoy being able to sit down and put, like, I could not even, like, post these. I've realized that I could basically sit down, record a video, and, like, play a game and like relax and talk, because that's what I like doing. I do like, also, I like writing books and stuff, because I have an extremely active imagination. I write a lot of fiction books. None of them are published yet or anything. Some of them aren't even, most of them aren't even done. But it's something that I enjoy doing, and it's something that I would like to get into further. I want to be an actor. I want to be a movie/TV actor, and that's what I love doing. I love interacting with people. I love, like, having fun. I love having a good time, and I know some people might be like, just having fun and being goofy and stuff isn't a career. For those of you guys who don't know, so I have to explain this, because otherwise it's gonna kill me, because it's something I haven't figured out yet. You see, there's this white box. There's this little white box. For you guys, it'll be on other hand. It'll be right here. This little box, like, thing. There it is. A little box. A little white box. It's like a remote camera view thing. That's a setting I have to change on my camera, and I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So it's, I guess that's another point. This isn't only just something that I enjoy doing because it's something that basically helps me, but it's also, it's a learning experience. It's this is how I learn. I learn by sitting down and doing something, or standing or doing something. I learn by doing things. A lot of the time in high school, we would get proper instructions for some things, to learn how to do some things, but one of my friends, Mikey, brought this up the other day when we were hanging out, and he said he thinks our teacher let it be an experimental thing. He thinks he let it be very much one of those, if you sat down and we were editing a video, because that's what we did a lot of times. We recorded videos, we did things, we did have assignments, we had particular video assignments that was like, you have to fulfill these guidelines, but you have a complete creative control. And it was very much a discovery of, hey, I want to do something, and if I discover how to do this thing, or discover like new ways to edit it or different things we can edit, and we had questions, we could like ask our teacher, ask him to come over and help us with something for a minute, and he'd do it. And Mikey brought that up. He said that it was very much a creative thing where we were given free control, and that if we had a question or a want to do something, then we could ask our teacher if we could do it, or ask him how to do it, and he'd come over and he'd help us, because that's just kind of that was the teacher he was, and I don't want to give out too many names. I don't like doing that. I don't want to feel like I'm. That's why I didn't say my last name or anything, because I don't know how that might come back on me. But it's very much one of those. It's a learning experience. It's something for me, but it's also for you guys. That's why I ask. I ask if you guys, if there's any particular like games you guys want to see me play. If there's any other things you guys want me to do. If you guys want me to do different vlogs, or you want to see me do different things, then go right ahead, ask me, because I'm basically open to try. I'm open to try different things. I mean, they may be things I've never done before, but I'm fairly open to doing different things. Like this past summer, when I told you guys, I was the rifle instructor. I've taught before. But I taught things like camping. I taught things like cooking. I taught things like first aid. Rifles was never anything I taught. I've never taught that before. I didn't know how to teach that. It was just something that I learned that by doing it. And that's why I don't learn by sitting down and taking notes and hearing someone lecture me and do things like that, because I don't retain any of the information when people do that. Because if you're sitting there and you're just it bores me. If you have some sort of more interactive thing to your lecture, or if it's a subject that I enjoy, I'm taking it's a Norse mythology class right now that I actually really enjoy, and I don't mind being lectured in it, because it's a topic I enjoy, because I'm an Odinist. For those of you who don't know, an Odinist is someone who believes in the ancient Norse gods, and that's something I can explain in a different video if you guys want me to, because that's something that takes up a whole lot of time, because that's something that I get really deep into, and might be something that my buddy John and I we probably will get into the topic of religion in our podcast that we plan on starting. But this is it's been nearly a year since I've started YouTube, and I feel like I've learned a lot. There are different things that I've never done before. I've never made a thumbnail before. I've made thumbnails, of course, for videos for you guys. Trust me, they're not the best, and in my opinion, they're not the best. I still have to fix my banner and my profile picture and stuff, because someone pointed out to me, hey, these are off center or whatever, and so I was like, okay, I'll fix those. That's something I'm perfectly fine with fixing, because it's all a creative and learning experience for me, that these are things that I've always wanted to learn, so that if maybe later on, if I don't actually get a acting career, I can also say that, hey, I have experience doing these things. I have experience editing, and I have experience doing these things. And I'm pretty sure you never stop learning. You never truly stop learning. It's just I'm not learning from doing sitting down and being lectured in college. I'm not really learning too much. I am learning some things, but I'm in a communications theory class right now, and in that class I've been able to apply things that I learned in scouting from different leadership training courses that I've like learned about different like effective communication methods that I've learned or even taught about, and I've been able to apply those things, and I've very much learned that life is extremely, it's a learning experience. Everything's a learning experience. We're always an adapting cult. We're always adapting, right? Like the human mind and everything is always adapting. They say, I don't know if it's still a proven fact or not. They say that your mind stops like fully developing at the age of 25, but you can still learn after that. You can still learn new things after that. Like I have a whole lot of things that I want to learn. Like, for a while I had learned back in like the 4th grade. I was going to a guitar instructor and I was learning guitar, and that's something I want to pick back up. I want to pick back up and teach myself how to do that. I've also wanted to like teach myself how to do different languages, and that is something that that's required for college for me. Is different language requirements, but that's also I chose Latin for my language. It's technically in an incomplete state right now because Latin is a really hard language to learn, let me tell you. But it is something I've learned from. My grade doesn't reflect it, but I've learned. Is the thing that's like, I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, my professor said that. He said your grade doesn't reflect what you're learning, because if he notices, he told me this, if he noticed that during the like semester there was this like curve of what I've been learning, then he knows he's done his job. He's done it. He's done right. And if I notice, that's something I'm proud of, because I not only like to learn, and people not only like to learn, but we like to teach. We like to teach because we have to worry about future generations, right? We have to tell that, like, be able to say, hey, here's how to do these things, and go out there and learn other things that you want to learn, and then be able to pass those things on so that we can keep learning and keep things going as a cult, like as humanity, as Homo sapiens. We can keep those things going, and we can learn other things that we can do, and hopefully that's like how our hopefully that's how humanity will survive, is by people still learning and teaching and stuff. And that's why I don't like sayings like the whole those who like can't do teach, or it's something like that, where it's basically saying that like if you can't do it then you're just teaching it. And I've said that I don't like learning. I don't like classroom learning really, but it's still an important part of life. It's still an extremely important part of life. Just because I'm not good at it doesn't mean that it's not important. There are a lot of different things that like people may not be good at, or they don't think is particularly important, but they are. Everything is important in this world, because it's what creates this like combination of things, like all this huge combination of things, this cluster of things that makes humanity. And I'm getting all philosophical and stuff, Jesus. But I'm starting to run out of things to talk about because I'm getting philosophical. Also because I would be way over time. I was thinking maybe this could be a 20-minute video, but I knew in the end this was not going to be a 20-minute video, because this wasn't like a draw my life where it's basically like doing this like thing and explaining this thing. It took me 20 minutes to explain how I broke my leg. But this is something I want to keep going and doing. So for those of you guys who know, YouTube does offer a partnership program, and the partnership program is basically if you meet these requirements, then they'll allow you to monetize your videos, which allows you to add advertisements onto them, like if you have like different sponsors or things, and it allows you to get paid for that. And I don't really care about getting paid or monetized for this. I mean, that's just basically like a reward type thing. Here's a cookie for doing good. But what was I thinking? I've lost my train of thought now. See, I do this. I always, if I was a train, I would have been derailed like 90 miles back. But this is a learning experience. If I don't get monetized, even if I don't get like monetized after like the certain amount of time, I'm still gonna keep going. I mean, this isn't something you give up on. Like, it took me nearly a year or over a year, I can't remember, to earn my Eagle Scout. And some people, because with your Eagle Scout, you not only have to require or do requirements and earn the merit badges that you have like to do with every other rank, but you also have to do an Eagle Scout project. And an Eagle Scout project is doing some sort of project for a non-profit organization. I did mine for the SCA, but it took me so long to do that. But I didn't give up on that. Even though it took me so long to do it, it took my dad and I so long to do that. So I like to count my I like to consider my Eagle Scout as also his Eagle Scout, because I like how much he helped me with that. But and he told me he used to be in Scouts. He wasn't in it for that long, but and so he didn't earn his Eagle, and you can't earn your Eagle after you're 18. I mean, with the whole Scouts BSA thing, they're giving people like new recruits like a two extra years or something like that to earn their Eagle Scout. But or like an extra year, I can't remember. But that's something that took me a long while to do, and even though it took me a long time to do, I still did it. That's something that I did, and something I learned from that. And like, even though it's very much a organizational thing that I did learn from, because I'm not the best at organization or keeping like a schedule or anything like that. I mean, I can keep a schedule when it comes to like doctor's appointments, because I mean, that's something you have to do. And I can look and be like, yep, these are doctor's appointments, these are classes, but I can also, I have a to-do list. I always have like this constant to-do list on my computer. I just pulled it up. You guys don't see it, but it's got like, this is what I need to do for this class. This is what I need to do for this class. This is what I need to do for this class. Though I have it, doesn't mean it's gonna get used. But I've had all different sorts of experiences where they've tried to teach me different organizational things, but not all of them have sticked. This is gonna be a bit different for the video, considering half of the gameplay didn't have video to it or whatever. That coffee's cold. I made this, like, I got up, took a shower, and, like, put the pot on when I was taking a shower. Not in the shower, whatever. But I mean, I guess that just shows you how off track I get. Is I made this coffee, and I drank maybe a quarter of it. I drank maybe a quarter of it. Not even a quarter of it. And now it's cold. Just because, like... Sorry about that. That's squeaky. A lot of people might say it's not professional to, like, drink or whatever while you're doing videos or whatever. I don't care. I don't think it's not... Like, I don't think it's unprofessional. I mean, you're drinking, you're hydrating yourself. It's something every human has to do. No matter what. But it's like, that's another topic that's gonna throw me off another 30 minutes that I'm not going to try and get into. But this is definitely going to be a longer video. But, like I said, I'm always going to keep going. And that's something you should do too. That's something you should always do too. Just keep going. No matter in the face of any sort of adversity, just keep going. Whatever, if you see it as something you like doing, if it's something you want to do, just keep going. People say like put your head down and just like keep going forward. I don't think you should put your head down. I don't think you should put your head down, because that means you're turning your eyes away from like the goal. You're like turning your head away from it. You're even like, you're still heading towards it, but you're just kind of letting things happen. You should just stick your head up, keep your head held high, keep your eyes on whatever goal you have set for yourself. It could be a minuscule goal. It could be something huge. Just keep your like eyes on whatever you want to do and do it. If it is something you want to do it. I'm not saying that, I mean, there are things that you'll have to do in life that you don't want to do. And though you'll have to do them, just do them. That's like the whole mantra of just like get it over with, and then you can go have fun. Go have fun or do what you want to do. Like, if you want to, like, go out and write a book, go out and do that. You have to, I mean, you have other things you have to do, but like you may have to go out and write, or you might have to go out and work another job. So what? Go work that other job. That job's like, it's not the most important thing in the world. You have to do it no matter what, which is okay. But you never know. You might learn something from that job that could help you when you're writing that book. So it is good to even do things that you don't want to do, because you might still learn from them. I think that's I'm learning things from just doing this video, because words that I'm spouting out of my mouth is like the whole thing of practice what you preach. And I'm saying I don't like school. I don't like doing school, but I'm also saying that you got to do what you don't want to do. So I guess that's something that I should keep in mind, and that everyone should keep in mind. So, but if you want to do something, go out and do it. If you want to, but I mean, don't take that to the extreme. Make sure that it's not going to endanger yourself, or it's not going to endanger others. That's definitely a big thing in life. Make sure that it's not breaking the law. But do what you want to do, as long as it's, I'm not going to say as long as it's reasonable, because I think there is a sort of like, there's a reasonable aspect to everything in life. Even if people say that it's not reasonable whatsoever, there's still a sort of thing that says that it might be reasonable. Excuse me. Ugh. My throat's all dry now. But again, if there's any sort of video you guys want to see me do, if you want to see me do challenges, or you want to see me, or if you want more vlogs or anything like that, or just like, because after this, I really wanted to make sure that this video that I'm putting up, that I'm recording right now, is the 100th video that goes up on my channel. I have, like, not put anything up since, it's like the Initiate Part 10 or 11 or something like that, but I actually have a bunch of videos recorded and, like, banked up, because that's actually what I do. I have, if you guys pay attention, I'll be, like, wearing the same shirts in some videos, because, I basically sit down, I take a couple hours, I record, and bank up a bunch of videos that I can then later on record and then edit and export overnight, so I can have a new video for the next day. But if there's any other games you guys want me to play, if there's different videos or something you want to see me do, go and let me know. There might be something that I'm doing right now that is just like a hobby of mine or something that I'm doing extra wise that you might want to see me do, or you might want to see me like just want to see. I'm thinking. There was other things that I was thinking of, like, I don't think I did this in the beginning, but if you want to see me try and up it to like 2 videos a day, go ahead and let me know. I've been considering that myself. I've been considering doing like 2 episodes a day for a while, because that might do something. But I don't know. That's just a thing I can try. It might do nothing. It might do something. But as always, I'm open to anything you guys want to see. I'm open to trying new things, and I think you should be too. Everyone should be open to trying new things, and that's something that I've tried to practice a lot, at least recently in my life. Because sometimes I have been very much one of those people who've been very set in my ways, don't want to do anything outside of what I'm used to. But that's something you should try. And this isn't like a New Year's resolution or anything of mine. This is just something that happened. But I guess that's all I'm gonna preach for this video. If you guys want to see more vlogs and stuff like that, I'll post them. Because there are things that I wouldn't mind just sitting down and like talking to the camera about. And like I said, I'm gonna start that podcast with John, and there are things that we're probably gonna sit down and we're John and I get deep about topics either way. And that's basically why we recognized that. I think that's how a lot of videos get made, is people recognize, hey, I'm really passionate about this thing, and I want to share that with other people. How do I do that? That's why platforms like YouTube and Twitch and stuff got built and created, was so that people could share those things. So John and I will get into really passionate topics about different things, and so I told him, and he's said that this is something he's wanted to do for a while, is a podcast. So we're going to sit down, we're going to do that. We're going to do this because we're going to discuss things that we're passionate about, and making videos is something we're passionate about. So we're going to combine those two things. We're going to make them like something bigger. That's I think that's another part of life, is just make things bigger. But I'm rambling. If there's things you guys want to see me do, put them down in the comments below. Other than that, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.